Hey, what's up, guys? Well, it's been about a week now, and we're going to check in on the cocoons that we harvested in the last video. And no, I know they haven't hatched. You know, the internet tells you 21 days, but when you start worm farming, you'll see that that's not exactly correct. Because when you start harvesting your cocoons, you'll notice that you'll have older ones, newer ones, so they all hatch at a different rate. So just be aware of that when you see wisp in your bin. Don't think, oh man, all my worms hatched, and just get your worms out and do away with the rest of it, because you still got cocoons in there that haven't hatched. So be aware of uh, of your cocoons, and try to be diligent about taking care of them, because they will some of them will hatch in 21 days, and some of them may take 30 days. You never know. It's all according to what the age you got was when you harvested. This bin is one that we harvested the other day, and I had some questions about. Well, I had a couple questions. One was I not afraid of worried about all the castings that was in there that I'm sort of looks like I'm wasting? And my answer to that's no. You know, with what little bit of castings that went in here, it does not compare to all the castings out here. Then I have a gentleman coming to pick up all these in the orange bags Saturday. There's my kids. So no, I do not worry about that little bit. If I had to worry about that little bit, then there's something wrong. So there's the first answer to the first question I got. No, I don't worry about, hey buddy. No, I don't worry about the little bit of castings that I leave in there. The second question is why I set the tray up like it's a new worm bin. Because basically it is. It is a new worm bin. You know, you got all these cocoons in here. They're gonna have anywhere from 3 to 5 babies in there, and so it is a new bin. My thinking is when you put the castings, the cocoons and the castings in there, all your castings is the used poo from their parents. So there's no beneficial microbes or nutrients in that, because the older worms have already taken it all out, stripped it out, and left the goodness for the plants in there. So I set up all my cocoon bins just like it would be if it was a brand new bin. Just like now, we checking in on these bins to do one thing, is to feed the bin, putting bananas in there. And I know I'll get emails about or questions in comments. Why are you putting bananas in a bin that has 0 worms in it right now? And that is a good question. And the answer to that question is I'm not feeding the worms, because there's no worms in here. What I'm feeding is the microbes, the stuff that the worms are going to eat. I want the microbes to keep eating and have a population explosion. So when my worms do hatch, they have plenty, plenty of food to get them going in the beginning. So we're not feeding worms. You're correct. We are feeding the the future food of the babies that hatch. All the bacteria, as Miss Jane calls it, the biota. That's what we're feeding right now. Now, when the worms hatch, it'll be a mixture of feeding the biota and feeding the microorganisms in there and the worms. But right now, we're strictly feeding and taking care of the microbes in there. So when our babies do hatch, there'll be plenty of food in there for them to get started on their new journey with. We're gonna keep it wet. I keep my cocoon bins just as moist as I do my breeder bins. That seems to help out in the hatch rate of the cocoons. I've seen. I guess a lot of us have seen the video that Miss Sandra put out about the dried out cocoons that she had, and she was successful bringing them back, and I applaud her for that. But I keep all my bins just as moist as if it was worms in there. So that's why we're out here today. That's why we're just kicking them. Normally I wouldn't shoot a video about this, but I've learned just because I'm doing this my way, that and it works for me, that people have questions and they may not know that it may work just as good for them. So I've got to the point now where I try to record every little thing that I do, because it may be just helpful for somebody else. Not just because, well, that's the way I do it and it works great for me, you know. So I try to share it out. I'll just turn it a little bit. I don't do this every time. I just do it right now because it's brand new. I'm trying to make sure that we got moisture from top to the bottom of the bin. I don't want no dry pockets. Don't want no air pockets. Once they start hatching, I won't turn them like that because I don't like flipping around the little ones because they're too fragile. They're too fragile at that point. Their skin is about as thick as the skin in your mouth, and that's not very thick. So once again, I put bananas in there not to feed the worms, but to feed the biota, the bacteria, and all that. That's all I'm doing. Just trying to get all the microorganisms to explode in there, so when my babies do hatch, they will have a ton of food to eat. And I hope this little tip helps you out. It seems to up my hatch rate. And like the last video I shot on my porch, I really wasn't expecting none of them to hatch, but all of them were Miss Jane's cocoons that I ordered from her right at the end of worm season, and they have already hatched them. So we're gonna leave that bin just like that. We fed the bin. Now that I've established that it's got good moisture, I put food in there. I know in my mind that it's 5 to 6 days old now. I won't come out here and bother it because the microbes won't break the food down as fast as the worms will. But I won't come out here and bother that bin for another 2 weeks. I'll give it 2 weeks, and then I'll come out here and I'll just strictly check the moisture in it. I'll pull back where the bananas were. If the peels are still in there, I'll cover it right back up and keep going. I won't fluff it no more. I won't do anything because now I know I have the moisture even from top to bottom in the bin. Well, that's all I got today, guys. I hope it helps out. You know, once again, this is Bobby with New Soil Castings. We're trying to do better at shooting videos. So, y'all would please like, subscribe, share out, shoot us, comment, keep emailing us. We answer everything. And we hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.